Hi, this is Brendan from Watto Training, and in this trainer tutorial we look at the QSafe Improvements 2015. QSafe is Queensland's current practical driving test, designed to evaluate a person's ability to drive safely and correctly in different driving situations. It is a performance-based assessment as opposed to a competency-based assessment. QSafe has a set criteria based on errors which are recorded by the assessor. This is the driver assessment report form. Up the top, the applicant's details. Section A, specific driving situations. Section B, maneuvers. Section C, pre-drive checks. Section D, operational skills. And Section E, hazard recognition and decision-making skills. Let's have a run through each of those sections now. Okay, pre-drive checks, Section C. We've got mirror adjustment, headlight and dip, wipers, washers, demister, air conditioning, hazard lights, and seat adjustment. Trainers, ensure that your learners are able to adjust appropriately and identify the location of each of those checks. MR, HR and HC instructors, we've got the auxiliary brake and the trailer brake as well. Okay, let's take a look at the vehicle operation skills that your students need to demonstrate. Ancillary controls, so this is on-road, control of wipers if it starts raining, air conditioning, clutch control, stalling, accelerator, gears, steering control and operation, braking, road position, maneuver positions, left turn position before and after, and right turn position before and after. That's referring to cornering technique. Let's go to the hazard recognition and decision-making skills, Section E on the report form now. So we've got observation and scanning, shoulder checks, blind spots, mirrors, signalling, traffic hazards, judgment, safety margins, progress, signs, signals and markings, speed, and finally we've got on the form on the right, we've got the sequence of the uncouple, recouple. Okay, the maneuvers that instructors must cover with their learners. For cars, the reverse park, turn around, U-turn, hill start, reversing exercise, and gear changing for automatic drivers. For trucks, a reversing exercise, a hill start, and gear changing, uncouple and recouple for the HC instructors. The specific driving situations a student will encounter in a driving test are outlined on the current slide. It includes intersections, crossings, high and low speed zones, high and lower density situations, and some lane driving. Types of driving errors in the QSafe testing system. We've got non-critical driving errors. These are driving errors that do not by themselves compromise safety to road users or the safe operation of the vehicle. You can see we've got Section E, hazard recognition and decision making. An examiner would mark a cross in the box under NCDE if a student made one of those types of errors. A critical driving error. This is a driving error that compromises the safety of any road user or indicates an inappropriate level of skill or ability. So the far right column, critical driving error, if you get one of those, the test will be deemed unsuccessful, which means that the student will not pass. We also have another type of general critical driving error, which is the examiner intervening either verbally or physically, e.g. yelling stop, grabbing the steering wheel, or using the dual controls for the cars. The test vehicle striking another object, such as a curb, a sign, or a power pole. A dangerous situation being created by the learner's driving, which results in another road user being forced to take evasive action to prevent a collision or any other danger. And the learner disobeying a direction from a police officer, a school crossing supervisor, and or an authorised traffic controller. Specific repeated driving errors, SRDEs. This is a specific repeated driving error which is marked when an applicant accrues 6 non-critical driving errors for a certain performance check. So for our car instructors, if you filled up all of those boxes in the NCDEs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, once the student got their 6th SRDE, they would be unsuccessful in the driving assessment. Okay, let's look at the improvements to the practical driving test that came in 2015. Speeding. On the QSAVE test, there is a zero tolerance to speeding, whereby a critical driving error is applied to any level of speeding reflecting the fact that it is against the law to speed over the posted speed limit in any circumstances. So you can see there's no opportunity for non-critical driving errors. It goes straight to a CDE. Speeding. Speeding is one of the major causes of fatalities on Queensland roads. Speed limits are set and enforced to save lives and reduce crashes. Most people think that speeding is just driving over the speed limit. Speeding is also driving at a speed that is inappropriate for the driving conditions, such as rain, fog, traffic, or traffic flow. Driving within the speed limit maximizes your stopping distance, giving you more time to react to the actions of other road users around you, like vehicles, pedestrians, and cyclists. Driving within the speed limit maximizes your stopping distance, giving you more time to react to changes in the road environment itself, such as potholes and obstacles. And in our example on the screen on the right there, less than 1 second would be a critical driving error. It is deemed too close. Speeding contributes to the increased risk of losing vehicle control. At higher speeds, vehicles become more difficult to maneuver, especially on corners or curves or where evasive action is necessary. The forces experienced by the human body in a collision also increase as the speed increases. Speed crashes result in high social costs to the community in the forms of hospital and healthcare costs, lost productivity in the workplace, and the cost of using emergency services. Let's move on to following distance. Since 29 June 2015, there has been an increase and increasing the significance of not maintaining an appropriate following distance, i.e. safety margins on the test form, and not displaying appropriate hazard perception by introducing a specific repeated driving error for both criteria, resulting in a fail if a person commits the same error 4 times. So if I was tailgating, as in the earlier example, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, I would get a specific repeated error and the test would be unsuccessful. Okay, tailgating is following another vehicle too closely. If you tailgate, you may not be able to safely stop in time to avoid a collision. Safe following distances vary depending on your speed, the type of vehicle you're driving, and the driving condition. And as you can see in the chart there, a combination of any of those factors. You must drive a safe distance behind a vehicle travelling in front of you. Note, in Queensland and Victoria, we talk about a minimum of a 2-second gap. Other states and territories talk about a 3-second gap. I would thoroughly recommend, as a driver trainer, going for a 3-second gap. That gives the student time to react, and if they don't react, then you've bought yourself some time to react yourself. Okay, following distance. Remember to double your following distance in poor conditions, and remember to increase following distance if you're driving a heavy vehicle. Okay, here we've got a student who makes the comment, I don't speed very often or by much, so speeding doesn't really matter to me, does it? The response. Now, I've just drawn from some research down there you can see at the bottom of the screen. It only takes one driving error at one moment in time to cause a casualty crash. While high-level speeding places that driver and other road users or passengers at great danger, low-level speeding is a dangerous community-wide issue due to the large number of drivers who speed by a small margin. Exceeding the speed limit by even a small amount increases the crash risk. A study by Cloden of 151 cases in Adelaide found that each additional increase in speed by 5 kilometers per hour doubles the risk of a casualty crash. Here we have another person who says, if I think the speed limit is too low, why should I stick to the limit? Speed limits are set by road safety experts in accordance with state and territory speed zoning guidelines. Speed limits accurately reflect the safety factors affecting given lengths of road. The factors determining the speed limit may not be immediately apparent to road users who may not appreciate the level of risks associated with speed relative to a particular road. And the source of that is a really good little fact sheet, which is Speeding Did You Know, which is on the RMS website in New South Wales. Here we have another person who makes the comment, "I can save time by driving fast." Little time is saved by speeding, but if everyone is travelling at a similar speed, it will make travel conditions more harmonious and free-flowing. It is much easier and safer to judge gaps, and there will be fewer disruptions due to crashes. You save only a maximum of 46 seconds over a 10-kilometre distance if you travel at 65 kilometres an hour instead of 60. However, it doubles the risk of being involved in a casualty crash. In fact, delays are more likely to be associated with other traffic control such as roundabouts and traffic lights, and road geometry such as curves and grades. So, you only save the full 46 seconds in the rare circumstances of a relatively straight road with no impending traffic and no signals, stop signs, give way signs, or roundabouts. High-speed merging. Since 29 June 2015, there has been an introduction of highly desirable drive situations such as high-speed merging to be assessed if the infrastructure and/or traffic conditions are available. In areas where infrastructure does not allow for a high-speed merge, a left or right turn from a side road into a higher speed road is recommended as an alternative. The learner for merging onto the motorways is required to plan their route before they enter the motorway, build up their speed to match that of the traffic already on the motorway. This can help them to find a safe gap in the traffic, look for a gap between the vehicles in the closest lane and safely build up speed on the on-ramp so they enter at the motorway's traffic speed, watch for other vehicles entering from an on-ramp and adjust their speed and/or lane to allow them to enter safely when driving on the motorway, and be ready in the correct lane as their exit approaches. Maneuvers. Since 29 June 2015, there has been a reduction in the minimum number of maneuvers required to be assessed from 3 down to 2. The current selection of maneuvers will be retained are as follows: the turnaround, U-turn, hill start, automatic gear change, reversing exercise and reverse park. One of the maneuvers must have a reversing component. Okay, right and left turns. Since 29 June 2015, there has been a strengthening of the criteria to specifically prescribe the minimum number of right and left turns that must be completed at certain intersection types, such as T-sections and crossroad intersections. Let's take a look at the intersection types that one would encounter in a driving test in Queensland. So we've got roundabouts 2, combination 1, staggered 1, T-section 8, with a minimum of 2 right turns and 2 left, and crossroads 12 with 3 right turns and 2 left turns. It's on page 17 of the QSafe Policies and Procedures Manual. Okay, staggered intersection. Staggered intersection is a crossroad where 2 opposing arms of the intersection are offset. Here's a common one I use for my training delivery, which is Spencer Street. You can see that it's offset as it cuts across Brays Road. The driver should give way at the unsigned staggered intersection in the same manner in which they give way at a crossroad. There is no need to indicate. Now I can say, as I go across the state doing instructor training, there are some places where they do indicate right and left in that scenario. You will need to check with your local transport main roads examiner as to their interpretation of the staggered intersection at different situations. The driver should give way at the signed staggered intersection, these ones being give way signs, in the same manner in which they give way at a crossroad. There is no need again to indicate. Vehicle X in this situation must give way to vehicle Z. If the driver makes a full 90-degree turn to the right and then a full 90-degree turn to the left, in that situation, the driver would indicate right and then left. Now let's take a look at the combination turn. In the example below, the examiner would ask the learner to take a right turn and then an immediate left. So that would be for the blue vehicle. Okay, in this one we're looking at the orange vehicle. If the examiner instructed the learner to turn right and then first left, they would select the middle lane on the approach to the intersection, then swing into the far left lane, lane C, as shown in the diagram. If the examiner instructed the learner to turn right and then first left, they would select the right lane on the approach to the intersection, then swing into the far left lane as shown in the diagram. If the examiner instructed the learner to turn left and then first left, they would select the left lane on the approach, so we're looking at the blue car down the bottom, approach to the intersection, then move into the left lane, lane A, as shown in the diagram. Okay, this example, if the examiner instructed the learner to turn left and then first right, they would select the left lane on the approach to the intersection, then drive straight into the right lane as shown in the diagram. Thanks for watching. This has been Brendan for Watto Training.